In the U.S., only 1 out of every 3,000 pregnancies is impacted by what doctors call pregnancy-associated breast cancer. It is extremely rare, but it has affected our own Christian Brewe's sister.
Yeah, it's always devastating to get the news from a family member or friend that they've been diagnosed with cancer, but the added layer of an unborn child made it extremely tough. As you'll see here, thankfully, there are numerous options for those who are fighting for two. Pregnancy is a time for celebration and excitement. But for my sister Cassandra, the time for excitement and celebration was cut short.
I just randomly kind of came across it.
The it was a small lump in her left breast, no bigger than a grape. So less than a week after announcing the pregnancy to our family, she had a biopsy.
And then I'm waiting, freaking out, and then I met with a nurse who said it looks suspicious.
Suspicious and cancerous. The lump was triple-negative breast cancer. It's an aggressive form of cancer that disproportionately affects younger women and women of color.
Well, I went in there like, let's get rid of them. You know, like, what do we have to do? Let's go the most drastic. And he was like, you know, settle down. You can probably just have a lumpectomy with the size of it.
So that was the plan. Take care of the mass with a lumpectomy, then follow that up with chemotherapy, which is safe for the baby.
I had surgery at 11 weeks pregnant and then at 14 weeks. So into my second trimester, I started chemotherapy.
In the second and third trimester, we have found after numerous studies that chemotherapy is safe in women during their second and third trimester.
Dr. Davina McCrae is a breast cancer oncologist at Advent Health and reminded me that while this treatment has worked for Cassandra, the plan for others depends on many different factors.
Depending on where a woman is in their gestational age, the options of surgery as well as the sequence of treatment is highly based on the stage, the biology, and the gestational age.
Cassandra's treatment included 16 rounds of chemo. Luckily, her worst side effect was a lack of energy. Pregnancy and fatigue go hand in hand already. Was it, and you've had a baby before, how would you compare the two?
Not even close. So it was, I mean, I could do one thing, one activity, and then have to go home and lay down. And even having like emotions, being happy, getting mad, there wasn't even enough energy for that.
But there was always the energy to fight.
I know that this is used to fight this, and there's no other option. So it's kind of like, people say it's like fight or die, and that's true. You have to go through this treatment to hopefully better your chances at living.
Helping in the fight were others who stood in the same ring and faced the same opponent. Dr. Elise Cardonic runs the Cancer and Pregnancy Registry and introduced Cassandra to a woman who beat triple-negative breast cancer while pregnant 6 years ago.
She would text me and constantly check up on me, and I could ask her, you know, we have the same timeline, and knowing someone who went through it, having a healthy baby years out, was comforting.
Dr. McCrae added that comfort is integral because there is a real incidence of postpartum depression in women dealing with pregnancy-associated breast cancer. So the fight is far from over for Cassandra, but her husband Robbie and our family will continue to support her every step of the way. So proud of Cassandra. Now, once again, there are still hurdles to clear with the mental side of things, as we just said, and she will also have to complete 20 rounds of radiation, which will start in late November. But for now, we're celebrating in the Brewy family because a baby boy did arrive earlier this week.
Coming into this world and growing up to know that his mama fought so hard for him to live a long, healthy life. You said you're proud of her. You should be. Well, just proud of the whole family there. I do want to ask you about one thing we saw in the pictures when she was receiving treatment there. The cap on her head, that's called the cold cap, and that has to do with hair loss.
Exactly. It kind of cools the head and constricts the hair follicles to try and preserve the hair as you're going through chemotherapy. As you could see there in the images, it worked for her, but I do want to be clear, it doesn't work for everyone because obviously the strengths in the chemotherapy can differ, but once again, it did work for her, so maybe it could help someone else out there.
So something to talk to your doctor about.
Right.
And again, congratulations to the whole family.
Oh,
baby boy.